turn to ban.
The Dire get a ban.
Here's the Radiant ban.
Dire's ban now. Seconds.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant's turn to ban.
Dire's ban now. Seconds.
Here's the Radiant ban.
Seconds.
5 seconds remaining.
And welcome back, everyone. Game 1 pretty easily handled by Fnatic against Boom Esports, but Game 2 is already pretty much underway. And hey, whoa, wrong way.
Hey.
I don't know directions. Hey, yeah. So, yeah, Fnatic easily taking down game number 1. Boom Esports, can they bring it back? And luckily enough for you guys, we'll find out right now because we already have a draft underway. And yeah,
Damn, Grant, you move fast.
I do. Indeed.
Efficient hosting.
We got to
Why haven't we been doing
And
this
we're
all
already-
along?
We're sending it over to the caster. No, I'm just kidding.
Every single host that I get in Dota, you know, they want to talk about the game and ramble on. What do you think we're going to see? But Grant shows up and hosts, and he's just like, I don't want to hear from you guys. Let's go straight to the draft.
Yep.
What a baller.
Just kidding, Cap. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, excellent.
I'm okay.
Could be better.
Could be better.
Could have appreciated being asked how I was doing without having to ask you to ask me how I'm doing.
But
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing okay.
that's good. Any change-ups here? The Dazzle. They're taking that Dazzle out there like,
Wow.
nah, we got
So it is
pop.
Snapfire they're going to give to Fnatic. And they're going to take Nyx Assassin in return.
Unless he
But
gets banned.
Fnatic are going to ban Nyx Assassin because Snapfire's out there.
But then you still got a Rubik in the pool. So I've heard you just like Nyx way more than Rubik against Snapfire.
Remaining.
They're both good. They're just one's defensive,
Different.
one's offensive,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Rubik easily steals and uses Mortimer's kisses.
Wow, they
himself.
banned Snapfire.
Wow, they didn't want to give it to Boom.
Ooh.
Big Daddy Boom coming through.
I thought this hero got worse, but I guess these teams are, at least in SEA, it's still first ban priority.
Turn to be.
There it is. The Nyx Assassin immediately scooped up.
Will they go for something like the Earth Spirit? I think he's one of the best heroes against Nyx. Any insta-cast silence is usually really strong.
So why did Nyx Assassin
They
hasn't
like Rubik, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we try.
Nyx Assassin hasn't really changed that much, right? Like over the years. So why is it seeing more play now? Like, it still doesn't have the greatest laning phase, right? I mean, he has good base regen
I think the
and
pure
armor,
damage
but...
on Vendetta was a huge buff.
Okay.
They straight up went from physical to pure and pretty much
And
didn't touch the damage.
They didn't touch the damage at all.
So that's just a straight 25% increase, if not much more.
Yeah, well, the way it works is that in the mid game, most carries have like 15 armor, which gives them 40% reduction, which makes it more like a 70% amp on your damage, because you're going from 60 damage to 100, which is like, well, now a hero that's meant to kill people bursts them way more effectively than he did before.
So when are we seeing the Dota 1 build? When is Dagon first coming back?
Dude, I missed that, man. That was one of my favorite things to do in Party Cube back in the day, was to play mid Nyx and just rush a Dagon. And
7 minutes.
My favorite thing is when I look back on my old Dota days, and I did the same build every game, right? On whatever hero I was playing.
Everyone did.
And some games you just freaking owned. And then some games it just did nothing. And you're like, I don't understand why some games I'm owning and the other games I'm not. And nowadays, I look back on myself and young son, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay,
Your double build on every hero wasn't quite the option.
No items, rush ring. What a foolish build that was back in Dota 1 days. But in Dota 2 days, that's that hot new right there.
Boots first as well, right? Was the biggest noob thing ever, and now it's hot. What about this Undying?
That's
what
a
the
very
hell?
random pick.
It is,
man.
No control. He is a big blob, and Tombstone owns. I guess Tombstone.
Hear it
They
out.
buffed him a lot.
Undying has been buffed over and over and over again.
It's gonna be.
He keeps on getting more damage.
I didn't actually think they'd pick PL.
Give me the core Undying.
Dude, I'm with you. I am actually with you.
Let's
Not
go
against PL.
Ice.
Not against PL.
Why not?
Not against
Because you don't use your Tombstone when you're core.
Maybe.
Do you know how much strength you steal, BSJ, with the Ags?
10.
Yeah. And you hit so if you hit 4 heroes,
40.
how much
Quick
damage
math.
is that?
40 damage.
Exactly.
And then you turn into the golem.
What?
So then what happens?
What about the golem? It amps you up.
Yep.
It's like 50, 60, 70, I think, percent. 50, 60.
And that's so every single decay you're hitting 4 people, hopefully.
And I think it's 40, 50, 60, right? I think that's what it is.
It is now.
Okay.
It used to be 50, 60, 70, and then they nerfed it.
Okay. I know they've been tweaking him a lot. His ult now does damage when you hit people. It amps your zombie damage, and, like if you're hitting them, and it gives you extra strength from decay, or just bonus strength in general.
I believe so, yeah.
It's bonus strength in
I
general.
don't think it's on decay, yeah.
I actually was testing this, and they still haven't fixed it yet. There's a bug with Undying where when your ulti expires, say I had 40 mana or 40, excuse me, strength.
Yeah.
Stolen. If say my ult gave me 40% of that, however much strength I got from my
5 seconds
decay
remaining.
strength, that amount of health is just straight up lost.
Okay.
You actually just lose it when you come out of your ultimate. So if you're like really big with Ags, you'll actually just be missing 2,000 health when you come out of your ult.
Well, you better hope you win that fight then.
You got 30 seconds to wreck face, and then you're dead.
I mean, is it more of a possibility? Honestly, I mean, it is someone like Ice. And you did first phase. Would you ever first phase a Rubik Undying?
I think Phantom Hunter makes it a lot harder because while there is all that strength stuff that's really cool, I think you still want the impact of the Tombstone zombies, because the zombies, you have talents. You have the talent that increases its damage,
and
then on
number
top
of
of that, the golem doubles the damage that zombies do. Yep. So I think in an ideal world, if you are to run Undying Core,
you do eventually rely on the...
Yeah, you do rely on your Tombstone for damage. So I think here it's just going to be a normal 5 played by Jabs.
Boring.
Y'all are
which means we need an initiating style. Oh, like to ban Pango. Yeah, because they have Phantom Hunter. So
it's a good call.
That's the go-to.
I think Pango's is really strong right now.
Which is like why? So before, when it wasn't considered strong, it was the laning phase, right?
Yeah.
So what's changed?
Ring of Tarrasque.
Is it actually?
I firmly believe it's Ring of Tarrasque. I think him and Terrorblade are the 2 single best beneficiaries of Ring of Tarrasque.
I mean, he's one of the few agility offlaners as well, and I think agility heroes in general are making better use of regen. All these regen buffs.
True.
So your higher armor, you take less damage per hit. Your regen is more effective there.
Pango used to kind of just he would use Swash, and then for the next 15 seconds, you just hit him.
And he can't do it.
And then you can't do anything about it. But now he gets health regen and sustains, and then
And it's a very fine line because as soon as Pango feels okay with you hitting him, then he hits back. And in which case, you're just going to take a lot less damage.
You end up never winning the trade, yeah.
Yeah, then you get disarmed. Well, you know, instead of him running away and taking 4 hits, now he's man-fighting you and only taking 2.
Yeah.
And you get people tend to forget that disarm does minus armor as well. So he does hit pretty hard when he disarms you. So they do go for the AA. A little bit weird to me versus the Ember specifically, but it does go well with Nyx. AA Nyx has been a very classic support duo. You have the Nyx scout out, you know, lock somebody down, AA blasts them.
Nice kill combo from Esports. Oh, BSJ!
Yes! Dude, it's actually legit. I'm not joking.
I like how you have to, like, disclaimer. Is legit.
I think you pair it with any support that can secure a range creep, because that's his only problem.
Yeah, tank.
And he buys headdress. I hope this Rubik fate bolts every single range and buys a headdress, and then I'll be like, wow, me and Ice 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 mind melded across the world.
What if?
Or he watched my stream.
So you're sure it's an offlaner and it's not a carry?
I think it's specifically a lane non-loser, not a lane winner. Meaning it doesn't, it never loses its lane, but it never really wins. It's just annoying.
Because I know.
Do you want him to rush the Ags?
I think it's either like a small aura item like Vlad's or Drums, and then Ags, or just straight Ags.
Okay, because I was just thinking it is potentially a really good Crimson Guard game. And that is one thing that you really like about Bounty Hunters. You get so much gold, you can get team fight items for. So if he gets the Axe, I'd like to see him then back up to a Crimson Guard really badly, because now you're faced up against Monkey King as well as PL.
Yeah,
this is a good Monkey King.
Knowing Ice Ice Ice, I'm probably going to see like Vlad's Crimson or Pipe or something.
He's very selfless in that regard as an offlaner.
I just think the Axe is pretty insane because it allows you to buy more items. It's not a meme in the sense that you get a decent amount of gold from just running around the map tracking people. You're a core, you're usually pretty tanky, and then your Janata pretty much doesn't exist past the laning stage. You pretty much never hit anybody the rest of the game, so your Ags actually enables your Janata for the rest of the game. And since it increases the cast range of your Shuriken toss, you don't actually have to be point blank and at threat to go Shuriken people. And all I do is you just track one guy, Shuriken another guy, and you get two hits off from Janata. So
you want a hard carry here for 23 Savage, most likely?
Yeah, I mean you want like a gyro type hero, I think, meaning one that is a hard carry that also loves to fight with you. Like it wants to fight when it can, because Bounty Hunter track is just insane amounts of gold in team fights. It's 40 gold for his allies level 1, so every time you're team fighting as 5, it's 160 gold for them, 150 for Bounty Hunter, 310 extra gold every single kill. It's a lot.
Is Troll too slow?
I'm down for Troll. I think Troll fits this lineup well. They need a tower hitter, Roche Taker, but at the same time, you kind of need a hero that, when initiated onto, can like turn the fight. So I would lean much towards Gyro, but I guess Troll's good too.
Meanwhile, in Boom ID,
where you go like Ursula.
We need our offlaner.
Looks like the offlaner, yeah.
What?
So what do you need on their team? You have an AA Monkey King, so you've got kind of this circle you want to fight in, right? Do you want?
I want more lockdown.
The Mars. Okay,
I want more ways to, like, I don't want just Nyx Assassin to do that for me.
It's not like direct lockdown, but you are still in that circle area, right?
People,
Big anti-mage fan here, I think.
Anti-mage?
Yeah, I think anti-mage is a big fan of that.
Who picks Darks? Who picks Darks here and doesn't ban AM?
They think it's Ember safe lane based on their Storm ban.
Their one ban, yeah.
So they're thinking we pick this Monkey King to hard counter Ember mid. They would be stupid to put him mid. That's quite reasonable, I guess. That is logical.
They go Lifestealer. And you really wanted AM. Why'd you want AM?
I just think it's really good against PL Darks here. Okay. Not like for any other reason.
Gotcha.
But there's probably 10
Please get the ass.
Dude, I'm actually slightly annoyed now.
I'm hype.
I'm slightly annoyed.
I will say
hype, man.
I'm curious to see how a 5-position bounty hunter plays, because I don't think that's a thing, but we'll see.
Phantom Lancer is susceptible to the, if you go the 2 decay to Soul Rip build in lane.
Owned.
He is very susceptible because he's a high armor hero, but he's actually somewhat low HP. And he is susceptible to that kind of burst.
All right, BSJ, I just need a do you believe or do you not believe in Fnatic?
I believe, and I'm looking forward to seeing this game. This is an interesting draft.
Cap?
I believe.
Okay, we've got in this off-lane Undying. It has been maybe never since we've seen it. Who better to talk about it than Dakota and Blitz?
Wow, thank you so much, Grant. Incredibly gracious about you and your hosting and your fantastic throws there. I'm here with Will as we get into game number 2 of Boom Esports versus Fnatic. Will, this is a very intriguing draft. Lots of funny things going on. I'm very curious where the odds have it, and sure enough, they are favoring Fnatic. I feel like, you know, it's easy to favor Fnatic. They're a more experienced team. They got a lot, and clearly these lineups are unorthodox, but they're making them work. Now, what about this one?
I don't see how Fnatic can win. I feel like I'm envisioning how the lanes look, and I think this monkey is gonna crush this Ember, or he should, and then after that, like, I don't know how this Lifestealer is going to kill anybody because he has 1 stun on his team. Like, he has technically 2. He's got Rubik Lift and like chains. We're not counting Bounty Hunter Shuriken. So he's got like 2 stuns on his team, and there's a Darkseer on the other side that's just going to reset every fight with Surge. So I feel like unless Fnatic just like completely rolls the early game, which I feel like they're going to struggle with, considering, again, the Monkey versus Ember matchup is so Monkey favored. So
I think most would agree with you. Like, if you just look at these lineups on paper, the head-to-heads that are going to be taking place in these lanes, this should be a phenomenal early game for Boom. But, you know, Fnatic, maybe their skill, maybe their the way they play could just kind of carry them through. But even with that, they have to be pretty dang successful in the early game. You know, they made up some change. I was with Brian. I was kind of expecting this was going to be an Ice off lane bounty hunter, and then have the Undying being more of his typical role. So I got to get your thoughts on this. You know, it's of all people, of course, Ice is going to be the one to take the Undying into the core reigns. But you know, how much confidence do you have in that? What kind of impact is he going to have in this game?
I feel like my confidence is low, but that's the thing about Dota, is I'm always willing to be proven wrong.
Of course.
I don't think it will work, but if it does work, then like cool. Then, you know, there's something new that people can do. But I kind of struggle to see how it's exactly going to work, and maybe my brain is just like too small. So I mean, I'm excited at the very least.
Yeah, maybe he'll show us something innovative, something with maybe some new build-ups. I know the zombies received a nice little buff in the recent patch. I think 10 damage per zombie, which, you know, if you leave that tombstone unchecked, could definitely add up. Well, but yeah, it's something we're going to keep tabs on. How is he going to prioritize these skills and new items to shift this up? Meanwhile, you know, you look at a hero like Bounty Hunter, and this guy was just gifted so much by the Frog. I was looking at some of the changes, of course, leading up to the big ones in 7.25, and I feel like Ice Frog's sitting in a room like, I really love Bounty Hunter. Why is nobody playing with Shuriken Toss? Yeah. And he's like, you know what? Cooldown's lower. Yo, not enough? Damage is higher. Not enough? Here's some great talents. And now it's at the point, here's the Ags. Yeah. And, you know, BSJ said some wonderful things that I didn't even consider. You know, yeah, Janata typically becomes such a dead ability in the later game, but now you can hit it to so many people. Bounty Hunter used to be one who hated people who 5-man and group together. Now he'll love it. It just totally changes the hero quite a bit, and I would imagine that Ags has to be one of the priority pickups early on.
Oh, I love your enthusiasm. I really do. For Bounty Hunter of all heroes. I mean, I think the hero's really good. Like, I think it's steadily gone buffs enough that maybe, for example, I think our team has tried it and it hasn't gone like the best, but maybe we're just not running it right. And that's the really cool thing about Dota, is everything can work and you never know what's broken until somebody smart figures out a way.
I love it. And plus Dota, an international game, we get to see these type of ideas come from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, how many games could do that?
some random guy in like a
pub.
Southeast Asia or Russia is gonna like figure this out and say like this is straight up broken, and then eventually it'll go up the ladder high enough that like all the high rank players will start doing it. And
those are my favorite things in Dota, when you hear stuff like, oh, is that the Logan of Baden? And I'm like, who the hell's Logan? And they're like, oh, it's this guy from the pub scene. He does this shit all the time.
Logan bumped at Grace.
Yeah, it's
David M. Kim Omni Knight.
Yeah, I love those things. It's like the guy who has that shtick in the pub, and then it just comes around and it works out, and then it's adopted into the pro scene, and then they even get that little bit of a nod of credit. I think it's just such a wonderful thing. And here, Jab's doing that early bit of harassment. Very intrigued to see how he makes it work in that 5 position. You know, I don't know if an Ags is going to be in the immediate future, but something he can certainly apply at any stage in the game if it does come into his laps. But
this is not fun.
Mid lane, yeah, it's as expected. A rough time.
It is such a one-sided matchup.
15 and 10. 10 denies. Now 11. My God.
Every time he's got stacks up, he's also going to use this to heal away. Like the last stack, he'll always Boundless Strike, so he gets the max HP. And they can't do anything about top. Like, it's a Bounty Hunter Lifestealer. Like, they're not going to stop this from happening. So you're going to get this Darkseer that is going to get pretty fat. He's got top of the CS chart. Monkey King is going to get really fat. And then I have to imagine PL wins. It's doing amazingly, surprisingly enough. Undying's actually doing quite well, but I have no idea. I can't even tell you what like my expert opinion on like the PL versus offlane Undying matchup is supposed to look like. So I won't even try to pretend as if
we'll have to just see how it works out for itself. This is just a small sample size, obviously, and we'll see how things unfold. But
I sort of feel like this Undying's going to run out of mana at some point, and then PL's just going to free farm. But
okay,
that would be my guess.
Kodo feeling confident here, or getting the chase about with Moon, who gone a bit deep into enemy territory here. He's getting smacked on the back end. And look at Hyde. Oh, Hyde is so giddy. I got a haste rune, boss. Here I come. Slaps down the stun, and Hyde's going to take that first blood.
Yeah, he came all the way from that top rune area to make the trek, and now Ice is going to die.
Oh,
and again, I can't stress this enough. I think Fnatic is a very good team, probably a little bit higher skilled when it comes to like my ranking board than Boom, so maybe they're just so good that it can work, but as of now, they are proving my initial suspicions, Dakota, about whether or not it could to be correct.
How far can you go with these types of drafts and these, you know, and be able to really execute and make it work? Yeah, they're going to be tested. They're going to be certainly tested.
I will say, I think, I don't even know if it's a good Ember game, because I think that it's pretty decent against PL, but if PL gets hard, then he doesn't really care that much. And it's not amazing against Nyx, because Nyx can just pop his Carapace next to your Flame Guard, and you always have an instant initiation as a result versus that hero.
So I'll say what seems to be hard to say about Fnatic. They got nothing good, it looks like, going for them. On paper, at least. It's like, well, who's going to have a potentially good matchup and a good time? It feels like it really falls back on just outplaying.
Yeah, I think they can still outplay. They have some measure of like stuns, and I think Ember Spirit could go off, and that's who they need to go absolutely crazy in this game. Because if you're looking at the laning phase, at least, all 3 lanes are going pretty well for them, I'd say. But there's going to be a dive towards bottom. Jabs has made his way down here too, and Dream's getting pretty low, but he does nail the tombstone first, and there's going to be even more TP support here as the Nyx comes in too.
Oh, nice stun. And look at Dream. He turns the corner. Jab says, I certainly did not commit this hard to get nothing. They want to get something out of it. They do.
He's got to die.
Get him.
He's got to die. Surely he's got to die.
Don't let him get away with this. Don't let him get away with this. He got away with it, and he's going to tag you on the way out. Oh,
that is crushing.
They drop the sentry. Jabs will not be safe. He drops the sentry of his own, but he knows it's too scary to step back and go for. And it's not getting any easier anywhere else. I look to mid lane now, and look at Makoto. He's diving deep, going for DJ. Smacks him.
DJ just TP too, and he just died bottom, trying to kill the PL, and he just dies, and there is a catapult here. Just looking at the difference in CS between the Ember, he's more than 2x'd him. He's got, is at 43 to 19. He's got 25 denies.
This is a straight up ass beating out of outer space.
Yeah,
early on in this game. This is insane. Like, everything's just going right. I look up top, Darkseer Darkseer is in a private island, it feels, just farming away in the top lane without a threat. Monkey King unhinged in this mid lane. Moon's making his return, and Monkey King's ready to flex on him. Hyde, where did he come from? He's behind him. Moves in, tried to go for the two-man
Now
stun.
they're going a little bit too ham.
Okay, guys, they're all over the place. Now they're getting swarmed, and they will get Makoto.
All right, I don't know what Makoto's...
That's a pretty penny right there.
I don't know why he decided to do that, if I'm 100% honest with you.
This might be Fnatic's plan. They are going to lure Boom into a false sense of security and let them swell up so big, a fat pinata that maybe Fnatic can pop.
So they intentionally fed the streaks, and they're like, don't worry, it all comes back around in the end.
Yes.
It'll rebound back to us.
They'll take advantage of that new algorithm or whatever about the streak goal.
Yeah,
It's pretty significant still, right?
So what you do is you give the monkey like 9 kills, on purpose, of course, and then 3 fights later, you know, you're golden.
Yep, and you have track. Hopefully at that point, you'll really swell up. But
he's dusted up.
You're not going to get track if you can't get the 6. 2-man stun, nicely done there by Hyde. But there's no like kill burst here, so it's going to be drawn out a bit.
Really low.
But, okay, yeah.
And he just walks in,
nowhere
dies
to go.
the Ion Shell.
Makoto would have been right there as well. There was nowhere he could go, and they're going to just swarm around 23 Savage.
They know he doesn't have TP.
Someone else does.
They're pretty sure he doesn't have TP, but Makoto's got to be careful. He,
All right, this time they know they can't get too greedy.
he's going a little bit too far for this, as Hyde...
Man, Fnatic just swarm in. They can call for backup like nobody else, it seems. They just suddenly show up for their man and get the job done. There they take down FBZ. Makoto at the same time, though, is able to get a kill himself, it looked like, right?
He got the courier.
He got the courier, okay.
And he's in fact going to leap onto 23 Savage, who doesn't actually rage the stun, and he's probably going to die for this.
He is dead for that.
Oh boy.
No opportunity to get anything off there.
Definitely could have used the rage there. Would have had no mana, but I mean, it's better than getting stunned in that position. And the sole person whose laning phase went well, 23 Savage, does die.
You hate to see it if you're a Fnatic fan, but...
Love to see it if you're hoping for a game 3, though.
Yeah, if you're hoping for game 3, Boom is certainly on the path to just clean house here. Oh, I gotta see what the champ is. Where's Ice at? So your core Undying at mid lane, 7.5, 2-2-2 build. I don't see anything slotted up right now, so I'm curious if he's just hoping to get some sort of utility and bring the power in the mid game. But I don't know where Fnatic is going to fall back on, even as mid game approaches.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that answer myself right now, Dakota.
A lot of head scratching here for damn sure. But this is good posturing by Boom. They have that advantage in the top lane. The tier 1 being taken down, so they just immediately move into Fnatic turf.
Still were able to hold 1 outpost, so not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, they are able to get hold of their own at the bottom, so not a total loss here. Some neutral items now coming out, and an opportunity to take a tier 1 bottom lane as well.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty nice for them overall. I'd imagine that the PL starts coming into his own triangle on the left side. And interesting enough, like, Makoto's actually just playing this kind of like roaming Monkey King.
It's like, I'm just so swole, I'm gonna go take down anybody who's willing to show an inch. And right there, Rubik sticks his toe out and just gets pounced on immedially. Ice shows up now, and he's like, I'm a core Undying. I think he's gonna get this kill. Wow! Okay. That guy just showed up and showed him really who's the big boy on the block. Damn!
That was a big kill for Ice. I actually didn't think he was gonna kill him like that.
That was very fast. I mean, Monkey King can hit hard, but oh, he's got 1,000 life. I was gonna say I thought Monkey King would have been pretty frail, but he actually had a little bit of life on him, and that Undying just hit that hard. Whoa. Okay, look, 23 Savage could be in a bit of a pinch here. Hyde hits him with the ult, but just gonna be a little bit of tickling damage. All right.
And he's still actually more farmed than the lanes, as DJ's gonna get gone on, and Ice is still here. He's used the Surge for this, but Ice doesn't really have any abilities. Here comes Moon, but way too far out.
All right, good. You know, if Darkseer would have been caught out there, I would have been getting a bit nervous here for Boom. I don't, you know, I don't want them to feel a bit too overzealous about the advantage that they've built for themselves in the early lane. You know, overconfidence of Makoto just not farming anymore and being around and trying to take fights. You know, you can't let that go on too long and get too crazy. And now he's back in the mid lane. He's back on the grind. Get that diffusal finished. Hit that power peak.
The crazy part is, even despite those 2 deaths, he's so far ahead of the net worth chart. That's how far gone the mid lane was. And the Ember Spirit, I mean, he's even less net worth than the Undying is.
Yeah, I mean, lots of stacks in the jungle right now. Ember, this helps mend things a little bit. But you're certainly right. He's got a tough hill to climb up.
And he barely has more net worth than this Nyx.
Oh, bottom lane. Makoto spotted out jabs. They dust him, take him out. Hyde has the Savage Bomb, if you will, in his back pocket. Oh, no, wait, not Savage Bomb. Sorry, that's Track. I got I got confused. That was the Infest. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, it's the same looking thing. I actually thought the same thing for half a second. I forgot which team Rubik was on.
Yeah. I'm also I'm more used to that other Track, the gold, nugget, whatever it is. When I see the old one, I'm like, wait, what is that? FBZ has had that quiet game on Darkseer farming through that top lane, but look how fast he's able to accumulate those utility items. Almost has the greens complete.
Nice chains.
Could be prolonged a bit if they manage to bring him down. TP's coming though. They have that outpost control, so that means Makoto can step right into action. Rubik is pushed all the way back, and now 23 Savage looks to get into play. While Makoto is able to ult out and get that finish on the Ice. The rest of Fnatic on the other side of that wall, now fighting back to the low ground and can't really commit into the fight.
That's an additional 200 gold.
Can they get Hyde? Oh, stuns right there. They do manage to take down the tree of the Monkey King. He's stunned out, and they blast him down. This is Fnatic's chance to gobble up the money that's there, and they're going to take more.
Track gold. Makoto is insane. I'm not sure why he decided to do that. Whenever he gets kills, he just immediately dies right after for it. And he's got to be careful because he's so far ahead that every single one of these deaths is so impactful. Like, I'm not sure why he feels the need to continue to go for those dives.
I mean, I think I mentioned it yesterday, and I could be incorrect. I want to say he is the 10K MMR player, too.
Oh, is he?
The mid laner for Boom. I want to say, when I was watching some of their old games, that it was mentioned he's the 10K player. But the leaderboard doesn't show 10K player. I don't know how you look up the current 10K players.
Oh, my keyboard actually doesn't work.
Oh.
Interesting.
But whatever the case may be, I'm not trying to take that away from him. But this, yeah, he's definitely got some brass on him.
I mean, for sure, he's a really good player, and he really.
You don't get to that level.
Yeah.
You don't get to that level without taking those kind of risks. But Fnatic is not a team you can get away with all of those kind of moves. They will pounce. They will take advantage of you going just an inch too far.
All right, here we go. It's going to be a 5-on-5, and they're on the low ground right now. They're going to pick up the AA here for free. He is going to get the Ice Blast off, but
level 1, that's not enough to do anything. The jabs, they'll be fine. They'll take the 1. But good on Boom's discipline there. They recognize that this is not a fight for them to take, not a good position, and they totally withdraw.
This 3K lead that they have, though, I feel like it should be up to like 7 or 8 at this point.
Yeah, I think Fnatic can just creep their way back into this game. Not too much trouble, but Boom got to hold the reins. They got to pull up. Let's see, Moon's recovery here is looks like he's slotted out for Battle Fury build. Accelerate that farm to get back into being relevant and taking bottom outpost.
Do you think if they want to take that kind of 5-on-5 fight, though, they have to be on the high ground together? The AA was just like in such a weird position.
Yeah, it looked like Boom were hoping to converge in to kind of get a hold of Fnatic's jungle, but Fnatic were already there, nipping at the idea to take a fight. Ice. Grabs that illusion. He's going for a Yule's next on his Undying.
Okay.
Oh. And jump on Makoto.
This is huge. That's the highest net worth.
The bomb out immediately, and he'll follow it up with a juicy, icy dessert in the Ancient Apparition. Two
and they
go
know that
down.
Hyde's there. He's running away. They're going to pop the dust. They do get him with it.
Fnatic on the hunt. Oh my goodness. They take 3. A killing spree for Moon. Fnatic right back into this game. What laning phase? Something was wrong with the laning phase?
Nothing, apparently, Dakota. And look at that just drop.
Like, you would think going through that kind of experience in the early game would mentally test you and break you, but Fnatic...
No, I mean, Fnatic are just
care.
proving, if I'm honest, they're proving they're like the most disciplined team. Like, they know what to do in this position. Bad news for them is they still have to get over this PL hump, but 23 Savage, like, I haven't seen Dream in a fight, and 23 Savage has just been kind of out-farming him pretty handedly, and he's been participating with his team with track kills, and he has done a lot for his team right now. He had that one death that was kind of bad at top, but since then,
he's just keeping his head low, and he's getting the farm done. Meanwhile, mid lane, a big jump onto DJ here. Something for Boom to just get back their direction. They are successful in that takedown.
Yeah, and this is the first point in the game where Mikoto isn't the highest net worth. That distinction is going to belong to 23 Savage, and it's going to just get better for him as he picks up the tier 2 tower at bottom. It looks like Boom really wants to finally take a straight up 5-on-5 because Rubik's dead, and they're going to make the move on Ice Ice Ice. Gets the jump.
Nice setup there. Smoked, initiated. 23 Savage shows his face there on the back as Boom tried to approach from the rear, and now they finally are able to isolate him. And they'll quickly take him apart.
And now it's Fnatic actually that make sort of the unnecessary maneuver. As Ice 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 dies, he's one of their biggest team fighters.
Oh, Moon, top lane. That defusal slows him down.
He does have a remnant charge, so he's just going to go back. It's at the very top right, too. It's in a really awkward position for them to get to.
Yo.
See ya.
And he whips himself on back. Good heads up there, but okay. I mean, this game still feels pretty damn close. You know, it's good to see Boom now keeping assertion, move forward, like you said, taking the team fight.
That was a good play. They had a 4-on-5, and they might even get more here as DJ they get caught up. He does land a nice stun.
DJ was caught out first in that previous skirmish, and now again, just as he comes back, he's caught out. Jabs is going to dish out some tracks, and they'll get some eyes onto Boom and what they're up to. But, you know, we already know what Boom's up to. They're just going to keep it fighting forward here. Fnatic will try to stall things out, I imagine, to see if they can get 23 Savage to a higher point and get Moon really into more relevancy. But for now, they still fall behind. And they're still crippled from that landing phase. They're still crippled by what Boom has going for them. They'll need more to recover. Halberd looks to be the next pickup here for 23 Savage, so looking to cripple the right click, but meanwhile they do drop the wall, looking to fight through it. 23 Savage tries to take it, but the surge, and look at Mikoto from the trees, drops out the ulti, immediate pullback from Fnatic. They won't want anything to do with that. An opportunity, pullback.
He's just trying to grab the outpost during this time.
Meanwhile, they do have an opportunity to isolate the PL, but PL found his way on the other side of the wall and out from trouble. Well, I may have spoken too soon. They track him up, and they finish him off, and Boom are on the quick retreat.
You see that zombie? He's trying. Look at that. The single zombie. He's struggling, but...
We'll check out, because I wanted to see, I had my eyes mostly focused on the PL half of that fight, where they were able to pull him back in, but I wanted to see on the other side here, and Shane's locking a lot of Boom.
Just not an ideal wall at all.
Yeah, Moon and 23 Savage caught on one side. You were talking about Ice 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 down there, going for the outpost.
The fact that he was able to do this and the fight still went okay for them. I mean, Dream was really away from the rest of his team.
Yeah, and Tombstone, fantastic positioning there on the high ground too. Made it very awkward for Boom to be able to get easily in and out of those fights. And, you know, I think we're seeing the first net worth advantage for Fnatic overall now.
And it might even grow from here as Mikoto is almost certainly dead. He's trying to find a target to boundless strike. Does get it off.
But it doesn't matter. He does end up going down a dominating streak as he falls, though, to take down the Ember. And he leaves his cousin PL behind. Oh, PL finds a nice little pick onto Jabs. The wall going to be committed. Vacuum back on Ice Ice Ice, and Savage right under it. Committing down the Tombstone. Ice 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 heals it up to keep it alive. They can't quite put their focus onto it yet. Finally, AA dishes it down, and they step off. Moving in. Ice 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 self-fuels.
They're getting kited here right now. As Dream actually is going to commit for this.
Okay, I say, oh, we'll catch Ice Ice Ice, but he's able to still get the heal off regardless. That means PL's going to fall. 23 Savage reapproaches, is able to get the grab on the Darkseer too. This is still Fnatic's game. Fnatic just taking it right back.
All of a sudden, they've got like a 1-2K lead. It all starts with the jump onto Makoto. They do lose Moon for that, but they're just overstaying their welcome. It feels like Dream is trying to overplay his hand.
So now we knew what the laning phase was going to look like. It did end up being as bad as we imagined, but
it was so bad.
But Fnatic recover, and now they're even on net worth. So now who has the better matchup when you just take 5-on-5 fights? At first it was Boom, but you know, Fnatic are just kind of outplaying them.
Yeah, Fnatic are definitely just outplaying them right now. Their team fighting is just really good, which we already knew about, of course, is Ice is going to get the Yules. Here's the jump.
Sniped, easy snipe. They didn't even have to put their bodies really into any sort of trouble for that one.
That was kind of okay, though, in terms of gold. 231 for the AA, but they got 200 gold for killing the Tombstone. Yeah, it kind of works out.
Yeah, you'll lose your AA for about 20 seconds. Obviously, no defense going to be mounted here from Boom to try to hold this tier 1, but as a tier 2 now could be possibly under threat. And now they're going to lose all the vision here too. Fnatic control high ground. We already have seen what they can do with better positioning. It's a cute little stun.
AI splash should be huge, actually. This is connecting on 2.
Fnatic won't even let them follow it up with anything, though. And I imagine it's still level 1 Ice Blast. Yeah, it's not even going to last that long. Just a little bit of a chill. Turn the AC on too high. It's not even cold. Not too threatening.
Yeah, you know, bundle up.
It's like, do I really need a sweater? Nah, you're good.
What item did you get just now?
On PL? Or
Ropo. Oh, okay.
Oh, who's that going to go on here? Oh, hold on. I hear 23 Savage. He's got a hold of a beetle. Hyde steps away, but he was tracked up. But there's this approach from Boom. Pull back, but Savage jumps right into Jabs. Jabs now under a little bit of pressure. I say that, but
23 Savage has no mana. He's got to be careful here.
Oh, Boom just hesitant, though. Obviously feeling a bit of mental damage, if you will, from losing the past couple of fights. It's making them a bit hesitant on their commitments now. I can't really fault them for it.
I would definitely be hesitant if I lost like 4 fights in a row in the fashion that they have.
Ice is going for the Agnums now. It's looking to really get the gains going.
Dude, Ags is so good in this game. I should note that. It's really nice because you're playing against a bunch of like int heroes that don't have a lot of HP to begin with. He gets like 2 decays off. That PL and that Monkey King are just going to be paper.
Yeah, they're already skinny nerds is what you mean. Just a bunch of skinny little nerds. Can't do a push-up. They can't do a push-up, and Ice is going to come squatting through and hit him with some dumbbells. Man.
Have you ever seen There Will Be Blood? It's like, I drink your milkshake?
No, I have not. Oh. I've heard a lot of good things about that movie, though. Definitely have to check it. I have time now. A lot of us do.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, man, he's beast. Oh, that's
high ground 2
that's
special
really nice.
right now with the wall drop on top of it. Let's go, Boom! And see what they can get out of it. They drop the ult. They drop all the AoE they can. And Fnatic set to crumble to go down. Ice next.
Go Roche after.
And that nerd with the big pointy head just got all the bullies onto the high ground. Beautiful stuff.
Damn, that was sick. FEC was waiting for this moment. All right, well, they go right into the Roche pit. I feel like Roche should be pretty easy for them. I don't know if anybody can buy back or anything like that. And you can see that Jabs, I mean, he's trying to pick people off, but he's going to get dusted, and this should be a freebie too. And that's going to be 4 heroes and a Roche potentially. Moon is trying his best.
Trapped behind the tree. It's been spotted, but has that remnant of to get out. Oh boy.
That was sick by FBZ.
And that was the biggest thing Boom has for him since the laning phase.
Yes. Getting them onto the high ground. We're going to see that once again.
Gotta see it once again. Look at it. This is like an Ice kind of classic too, but they just get pulled right into trouble. And makes it so easy for everyone else to just lay a double wall on top of that. Oh no, that was a stolen wall. But still. The AoE, the team fight significance there. But look who's already back into the action now. Fnatic say, yeah, I don't care you took the Roche. I don't care you got that extra life.
And this Darkseid is really tanky. They should fight around him.
AI Splash there, and they finish off Moon.
I don't know what team is going to win this game at this point, Dakota. It just goes back and forth every single time. every single time that I think that Fnatic has wrapped up the game, Boom all of a sudden comes in and makes a sick play. Then Boom throws it back a little bit, and Fnatic catches the ball. They're just playing a nice old-fashioned game of catch. Right now, Boom is holding the ball.
Nice surge save there onto Hyde.
This is what I thought that
Got DJ hopping all about. The chase still is on, though, as Makoto catches Ice from behind. Ice. Eats the Ice Blast, and his life is over.
This is what I envisioned the game looking like anyways, Dakota, was Fnatic just not being able to really nab anybody. The Darkseer Surge just being a little bit too effective.
Fnatic do nab up a little AA there on the bottom lane, but the real damage being done on the mid lane here by Boom as they secure that tier 2. And now Fnatic really have to kind of turn it up a notch and get back to out-executing Boom if they want to claw themselves back into this one. Because like you said, this is a position that Boom really should have set themselves up for based on the huge early game advantage. You know, it took a high play, or a high skill play rather, to kind of make it happen, but they're back into that position, that power position.
Yeah. And that was like through the power of, they're just having superior team fights right now. So it's not like they're not doing the right things either. It's just kind of disappointing because I feel like they could have just wrapped this game up like 5 minutes ago, or been in an even bigger advantageous position. But instead, it's a little bit of a slugfest as both teams are just kind of, you know, going at it.
Which we all love.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, incredibly entertaining game already.
And 5-on-5 fights are always going to look a little bit awkward here.
Yeah, right in the middle of the river. You got high ground, low ground all over the place. Makoto shoving DJ back. Hyde is going to be the first to fall. They both drop. Turning back. Couple swipes onto Moon, but he obviously just dashes right out from trouble. And whoa, Jabs. Found Jabs, the secret agent from behind, trying to get all the intel. And they'll just gobble him up as an extra piece of money. Double kill for Makoto. He's got 2,600 gold. And that Orb of Destruction, too.
Oh, they were a quarter second late. They almost killed Moon right there.
30-minute outpost time. Looks like we'll be split. And to the bottom lane. No surprise here. Boom still have a tier 1 to take down. And something they just got to keep pressing forward, keep getting the objectives, use this advantage, and try to force Fnatic to have very little options in the late game by just taking away all their farm potential. You know, in last game, Fnatic were just dominating. You know, how early did Fnatic have Boom corral inside their base? It felt like at 15 minutes almost.
Yeah.
You know, in this game, Boom have an even more seismic advantage in the early game, but they have much more trouble trying to keep Fnatic together and inside their own base. Fnatic are so fast to know where they have to get out and get things done mid lane. Oh, I witnessed the whole thing, and it was hard to watch. Boom just blown the hell up. And Boom just taking no mercy as they cross country through these lanes.
I have to imagine that, again, this game is still going to be really difficult for Fnatic to win. I think that Boom is doing all the right things now. Fnatic understands that they can't 5-on-5 straight up anymore, and so what they're looking for is pushing out the lanes, trying to see if they can get these like mini pickoffs and being really aggressive in these lanes. But Boom is thinking, okay, just 5-man together, and that's the right thing to do. Just work together, make pickoffs happen. They're starting to realize, I think, how strong they really are when they're just playing together.
See if they can close this one out. Swift takedown of Jabs. He does have a buyback. He does use it. It looks like DJ could be next. The wall's going to be committed. Split down the middle. Oh my goodness. That's also going to be 23 Savage, and he has no buyback, Will. My bad. My bad.
All right, I think they're pinging for Throne right now. I know they know that there's no buyback, right? And instead they're going to go for the safer play, which I'm okay with. But this game, again, Fnatic, they did a really good job, Dakota, of making it look closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest, like post-draft, there should have been no doubt.
It would have been criminal for Fnatic to get away with such a lineup.
I think so, too.
And playing it in the way they did, you know, it had been maybe an Ice off-lane bounty hunter. They shifted the Undying to support. You know, things could have ended up the same, but, you know, now we'll never know. And with the position Fnatic have drafted themselves into, it looks like they will ultimately reap the consequences that have been expected or foretold by you.
They're going to have to fight 4-on-5 because they don't have this Lifestealer, but they can't afford to give up Megas. I think if you get Megas, the game is almost guaranteed over.
ISSI's not able to finish that Agnems as he's getting big decays now, but he's not going to lead him to being any sort of raid boss. Drops down the tombstone. They're
getting kind of low.
It's a lot of damage. Maybe they'll take the Nyx. They're popping out the heal. It's not significant. Oh, immediate stun on the moon as he tries to jump into action, and he is sent right back to the base. I think this could be it. Lifestealer now back. Ooh, Makoto, very low.
All right, they're going to hold.
And he's out. He did not have an Aegis. He did not have an extra life. And that's enough to force Boom to pull off. Fnatic will be down, but not out. But, you know, that is a lot of money now for Boom. They're going to go shopping.
Rich.
They got a big credit card right now, and they're going to go on a shopping spree.
They actually got so much money, though, for that. The gold exchange 3K in their favor just for picking up some of those kills, but I mean, the road is still daunting. They've got one set of racks left, no tier 3 towers. They're probably going to lose their Rubik here. DJ has no space to play on. The Phantom Lancer does not care. He's going to continue to chase right now. The Rage is out too. There's no defensive abilities. Ice has now come in.
Yeah, this might be it. Savage on the pushback here. Fnatic trying to take a fight outside of the base in hopes of catching Boom when they don't expect it, but Boom are just so swole by this point. It don't matter. They'll bring it. 23 Savage now going to be forced to run. Can they take him out? Can they end this game before he makes it back inside the base? Moon trying to stop him in their tracks. They ultimately will force 23 Savage to turn and fight, but he has no more mana to work with. He does have allies nearby who could escort him back out to safety, and it will grant them at least one more opportunity to take a defense.
And keep in mind, this is all without Makoto, who's one of their best ways of dealing with the Lifestealer, because he has Deso plus he has Orbo Destruction. Not quite there yet. Has a BKB, a lot of gold saved up too if he wants to use it. But it's
he's
still
back
3v5 now.
He's TP to the outpost that they just claimed, but the fight's already on. Fnatic know that this is one of the few opportunities that they're not going to be full in as 5, but they're not getting anything from it. Nice 2-man stun going to be there from the Nyx, and I think Makoto will show up just in time to serve the white flag here for Fnatic.
Moon. He just lost a quarter of his HP through the Boundless Strike. Boom. And GG is called. I'm glad that Fnatic decided to take that chance, but it just felt like they got completely counterpicked.
Yeah, the draft as it was